Yes, you wonderful people. Welcome to LRFC. Please hit that subscription button, notification button, and like button. Please follow us on our social medias, which are right there on the screen, which is TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Yes, people. So we've got lots of things to talk about. We're obviously going to talk about Liverpool Football Club, and then we're going to move on to transfers. Then we're going to move on to the Premier League and the shambolic stuff that's happening around the Premier League. You know, cheating, not cheating. Is something going to happen? Is something it's not going to happen? So there's a lot of things I want to go through with you people. So please put it in the comments and have your say as well. We're going to be talking about Everton. We're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to talk about Man City as well. So it's going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so let me put something up at the moment, man. I was watching the England under-21s. So this kid is killing it. At the moment. He scored a wonderful free kick, and he scored an outstanding chip on the run. So as you can see, people, if you get competition for places, the team will perform in a different level. And you can see by Harvey Elliott this season, he's performing in a different level because he's got a threat in his place. And if it's not a threat in his place, he has to win his place back. So you can see this season, I think he's been one of the best young players coming through. And I'm sure he's going to be probably getting an award at the end of the season as well. He's a wonderful player, man. He's a wonderful player. I've been saying it for a while. And finally, he's getting the credit he deserves. Sometimes I had my doubts. I looked at him when he was, when he had that broken leg, and the way he was recovering, it looked like he was like timid. But now you can see like he's back to what we want him to be, and even better if you talk about consistent basis. So the kid is phenomenal. So I want to move to obviously the transfer next. So let's talk about that. Then we move on to obviously the Premier League eventually. Transfer. So according to Luis Diaz's father, he says I'll put like a big man, like he's muscular or something on the picture. It has to look funny, doesn't it? So it's all good. His dad says his son's dream is to play for Barcelona. I think they're both Barcelona fans. It's not a bad thing to say, you know what I mean? But he said like in a way that maybe in the future something can happen, but he's not putting Liverpool in jeopardy at the same time as well. So you got to I saw the fan base going mad about it. But I'm not mad about it because the player hasn't developed to what I want him to develop. I think he's 27 years old. So he should be like in his prime now, like heading towards the peak of his powers. But he's not doing anything, people. I've asked that question, and a lot of people are asking me, why am I saying things like this? Now you know why. If he goes to Barcelona, it's not the end or be all. We'll probably get a replacement that's going to be more beneficial. But what I want from Diaz at the moment, I'm not pushing him at the door. I want him to do more. I want him to develop better. I want him to, score goals. I want him to, create goals. That's the thing I want from him at the moment, and he's not doing it for me. But as you can see, since his father's been back, he's scoring goals. He's scoring international football as well. He scored 2 against Alisson against Brazil. So he's coming back to some sort of his best. And obviously, we saw that goal against Luton as well. So it shows maybe he is getting back to, what we want him to be. And he's going to prove, a lot of us wrong, because I had my doubts against him. And I was proven right majority of the time. Now his dad's coming out saying he wants his son to play for Barcelona, but not to an extent to move. He said Liverpool shouldn't be worried. But why are you coming out with things like that? I don't understand. You know what I mean? He's a Liverpool player. He has to develop into a Liverpool player still, in my opinion. And then we have to see where he goes from there after that. Listen, this guy is a good player, but what angers me, he hasn't produced anything near enough to this guy. If you know what I mean. If Mane is playing bad,
Mane always, produces on the pitch, either defensively or offensively or creatively. So that's what I want to see from Diaz. He doesn't create anything. He doesn't really um, um, build up play with Robertson or the midfield. He doesn't do much that I want him to do. So this is what he needs to improve on in order for us to trust him on the pitch on a regular basis. Then that Barcelona links, all that stuff could come after. Maybe he's just trying to push it out there so he could be looked at. But if you're performing the way you're performing, no one's going to look at you. I mean, even Liverpool fans are doubting you at the moment. So you got to go to the higher standards. But listen, if you look at Barcelona in the past, this guy done the same thing. Like he started coming out saying like, I don't want to learn English because I know I'll probably end up in Barcelona or Real Madrid eventually. What happened to him? He's in Qatar now playing football over there. Didn't last more than 2 seasons at Barcelona. It doesn't see the grass is not always as green on the other side. People, you could ask for those teams, but if you play 2 or 3 bad games, they're not going to really like you, and that's what's happened to the likes of Coutinho. We just have to mind our own business at the moment. I don't want to keep talking about Luis Diaz and all this stuff. He just has to get his performances up again. He needs to start performing on the pitch. Do your talking on the pitch, as the old saying goes. And then we can see after where we can go. You know what I mean? If you want to end your career at Barcelona, that's not a problem. But you're 27 years old and we're still waiting for you to be an impact in the team. And you're not doing it at the moment. But yeah, that's enough for Luis Diaz. He has come back performing better. We are going to give him credit for that. His dad needs to shut his mouth at the moment. You know what I mean? After what's happened, you feel like he calmed down, but he's talking nonsense on the news for some reason. And I saw that news when he was talking, actually. So, but he said Liverpool shouldn't worry. He did say that. So let's just be realistic. This player I want to talk about next, Andre. A lot of people are saying he's heading towards Fulham. We'll have to wait and see. January is going to come along very soon. We'll have to wait and see, and then we could talk about that then. Okay, next we're going to be talking about, obviously, the Premier League, Everton, and all that stuff. So let's bring in Uncle Rods, and we could start talking about that.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo. Let me change my screen. My screen doesn't look good either. How you doing, Uncle Ross? You good?
I am good. I'm always good when you're around your stream. So I'm
Appreciate that, mate.
Man.
Man. What's going on in the Premier League? What's going on in the Premier League, mate? Like a lot of stuff's happening we don't agree with, man. What is going on?
It's just another day in the Premier League, isn't it, my friend?
Yeah, it is, bro. It is. So, Ross, let me ask a question. We're 1 point off the top. We're doing our bits. What do you think of Liverpool this season, mate? Exactly. What do you think? Can we achieve higher than we expected in the beginning of the season? Can we compete for the league? Is the game against Man City going to be a statement? You know what I mean? Something like that along those lines.
I mean, to be honest, today I think we started off good. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it because, let's take sort of the Tottenham game. Let's take the Tottenham game. Remember the day we was down to 9 men. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they couldn't break us down. And he took an own goal, obviously, at the end of the day to sort of for Spurs to win the game. There was a lot of decisions in the game at the day that sort of was very dodgy, to say the least. Do you know what I mean? But it took that at the end of the day for us to lose the game. Other games we played, you know what I mean, when we're down to 10 men, we end up winning. Newcastle was one of them, one of the famous games, you know what I mean, where the likes of Darwin Núñez came on and banged in 2 goals. Do you understand what I'm getting at? So on the whole, at the end of the day, I think we've been playing really good. It's literally in the day when you look at last season. Excuse me, it's such a turnaround. It's such a turnaround from last season of how we played last season. Yeah. And arguably, when you think about it for us, arguably in the day, it's probably much more harder this season than what it was last season. You understand what I'm getting at? Whereas you had your players there, I know at the day their legs were going, but these are players at the day that were used to sort of Jurgen Klopp style. One thing to Jurgen Klopp, know how Jurgen Klopp wants to play, and so on, right? Now what he's done at the day, he's completely changed the midfield, right?
Yeah.
And we're still pulling up trees. We're still pulling
Yeah.
up trees, and we're doing arguably better than what we did last season. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's a much more harder job that Klopp is doing this season.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you think about it, I mean, I don't want to, but
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it, if we finish second, so we
Yeah.
finish second this season, and like
Yeah.
we're trying to manage City win the league.
Yeah.
If we did that, Rafa, that's still a massive improvement because what isn't there? We've massively improved on last season. Do you know
Spot
what I
on.
mean? And you can tell that we've improved by the way by the way we're playing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think like we're overreacting as fans, Uncle Ross, the way we're behaving off the pitch? Like we're asking for a defensive midfielder while we're disrespecting the players that's already there right now, like Endo or McAllister playing in that position. But like you just said, you just hit the nail on the head. We're punching above our weight compared to where we was last season.
Oh yeah,
There's a new attack that's gelling. Don't forget, we've still got that new attackers that only came together last season. They still need to get to know each other. They're playing different positions now. One of them is playing in central midfield. One of them is playing as a striker that was playing out wide last season. You know what I mean? So we are gelling as a team. Like you see the relationship with the front three now, like with Diaz or Jota or Nunes and Salah. There's all relationship being built as well as we're improving. We're not at you know what they say. We're not we're not at our best yet, but we could get even better. So we're like second, 1 point behind the leaders who are about to be the world champions. You know, the best team in the world. If we're 1 point behind that team, and they lost more games than us. Come on, we haven't lost that Tottenham game. Let's be honest, we're still unbeaten, Uncle Rods. We haven't lost that Tottenham game.
If you look
So
at
if you look at the bigger picture, aren't we doing more than we should be doing? If you look at last season and the season before that, because this is a new team and we're like only 1 point off the top in every competition. Was the quarterfinals of the League Cup. We're still in the FA Cup, almost qualifying for the Europa League. So we're doing everything and more than I expected, considering what we had last season. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I get what you're saying, and I truly understand it.
Mhm.
But what I would say, my caveat to that would be, and Dave,
Mhm.
right? These are the standards that we expect from Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We should be in the mix every season, if not winning the league. Do you know? Because these are the standards that day. That's the great Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, and other managers that came before, sort of like Klopp. These are the standards of the day, right? That they set up. Because you look at that, right? When Bill Shankly come in, he set the plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He set the plate, and he
Yeah.
said, "This is a standard at the end of the day I want Liverpool to be," and he
Spot on.
achieved it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So one could think at the day to yourself, "Well, look, this is what Liverpool should be doing. We should be challenging in the meaning. We should be getting in the players at the day, right? That can play the style at the day of what we want and challenge and they sort of like who's at the top at that time. You know what I mean? You know? And that means that they getting in sort of like a sturdy DM, a really sturdy DM, and that can sort of like that, like a destroyer, like he had.
You're always gonna need a Graham Souness in the team. Every team has a Graham Souness in the team. Yes.
Definitely. Even like, do you remember Mama Sissoko?
Yes.
Do you remember him? Even something like him, and he was like a destroyer, and I think that right, destroyer, and you always need that destroyer in midfield. I don't think at the end of the day we've had a real destroyer in midfield for a long time. Even like we had Fabinho, right? Fabinho was good at his job. You know what I mean? Yeah, very good at job. But at the end of the day, right? If he was that good, he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have gone.
Listen, I love Fabinho, but he wasn't that type of player that would like. What was the old saying, Uncle Ross? Set the tone. Remember, set the tone. You know what I mean? Like someone's gonna put that tackle in the beginning just to show we're here. We're here to take you on. That's what you need in that midfield. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
That's what you call, when you think about it. That's what you call a destroyer. A destroyer. That somebody that comes in and says, "Look, I'm the governor here." You know what I mean? I'm the governor, and then somebody comes along and says, "Look, you're Anfield. You're Anfield. You know what I mean? You know, this is where football is. You know what I mean?
It's,
So
it's,
I can understand them kind of like getting that sort of like destroyer, one that DM that's a destroyer.
yeah,
So now, but if you're to believe in rumors in the day, right? We're looking at a guy from Leverkusen in the day, and I've seen some footage on him, and I'm gonna do I'm doing a show tomorrow
yeah,
on him. Jeremy Frimpong from Leverkusen,
yeah,
yeah, and he's a right back, but he's like an attacking right back, like what bloody Trent is, yeah.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like that, yeah, and
Mhm,
he scores goals.
mhm.
So what it is in the day, you got that. If you get that fella coming in January,
Yeah.
yeah, then Trent and Day gets to move to midfield now. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So I
You saw
think
him
that,
playing for England. You saw him playing for England. It was a
yeah,
terrible game, but the last 2 games, I think he played in midfield in number 10 or something like that.
yeah. Now I think at the day, if they put Trent in the centre of midfield where he can dictate play, do
Hmm.
you know what I mean? You have Szoboszlai on the right, probably have McAllister on the left,
Yeah,
and you have sort of like you have like Trent in the middle. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Now I think at the day, what's going to happen at the day is that they're going to buy a left-sided centre back.
Of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
somebody to put obviously somebody that that can somebody with a left foot that's going to play that side. And
Complement the left back and the left side of
right,
centre back,
right,
whenever it's needed, basically.
right. Now I don't think at the end of the day they're going to buy a left back. Get rid of that. Everybody, all the Liverpool,
4-year contract, semi-cash sign, mate. Like,
yeah, yes,
where's he gonna go?
yeah, all Liverpool fans get rid of that idea and that we're going to get a left back. Yeah, that's not happening. Because if that was happening, the Shimikas wouldn't have sold. The Shimikas
Signed.
wouldn't have signed and they a 4 to 5 year deal. He wouldn't
Yeah.
have done that. Do you know what I
No.
mean?
No.
But I think if anything, they'll be looking for a left centre back in the day, right? Which at the end of the day, if called upon, can pay the left back. You
Spot
know what I
on.
mean? You know what I mean?
Two
But
in one. Yeah.
that's not gonna be his sole job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got them elements. If you get like a new right back, a new centre back, and then you push in sort of like Trent into midfield. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. What I would do as well, and then I'll go so far that day is getting a DM, and then day
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So then what can happen? I think that right, Trent could go forward more.
Yeah.
Trent could go forward more, and knowing that the day he's covered. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that,
have different options on the pitch. You know what I mean? You don't have to be
yes,
the same thing
yeah,
every single time. If we had for example, the Champions League final, different like formations in that game, maybe we would have won that Champions League. But the
yes,
issue
yeah,
we
that's
had, we
good.
was just playing the same way throughout the game, and it just didn't work out. That's what's happened.
I
Have different.
believe
Yeah.
that. You check it now, right?
Hmm.
If we did bought a DM and
Hmm.
then put Trent into midfield, yeah,
Yeah.
right. That means you're buying the right back and you're buying your left centre back, for instance,
Yes, sir.
right? You can literally place on certain games that day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can literally play a 4-2-3-1 where you've got
Yes.
like you got like a DM in there and you got Trent in there as well. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yeah.
So when Trent goes forward, you know that the day everything at the back of him, sort of like, do you know what
It's
I mean?
covered. Yeah.
It's covered. It's covered and thing. So you can go and do his thing, pings ball in.
Exactly.
You can score if you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can have sort of like you can have Szoboszlai on the right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Diaz. You can have Diaz. You can have Jota and then whoever you want
Hmm.
on the
Whatever you prefer. Yeah. Whatever you
your
prefer.
left, and then
Yeah.
what you have in a day, you can have like Salah as a 10,
Yeah.
yeah, Salah as a 10, and Nunes going through the middle, and
Yeah.
you still got a bag of options on the bench.
Exactly.
Come on now,
Spot on, bro. Spot
does
on.
that make sense?
The more ammunition you got, the better for the teammate. Like,
Of
like,
course,
like, like we said, like in other games, if we had that in the past, maybe we would have won those games that we drew or lost. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If we had more ammunitions on the pitch. There you go. Katie says, "Oh yes, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. We're both good. Uncle Rose is on as well. Harvey is doing well with the under 21s. I was just talking about that just now. Uncle Rose, like he's scoring goals, man. 2 goals today. a free kick and he chipped the goalkeeper for under 21s. Yeah, bro. I was watching.
God,
While I was watching you, I was watching him on there, and I was thinking, wow, this kid's
Harvey.
getting better. But the thing is, Uncle Ross, it's competition for places elevates your performance, bro. You know what I mean? So now he has to fight for his position at Liverpool. Now look at the performance. Look at the difference. Him and Curtis Jones. And you remember, I'm not a Curtis Jones fan. Now look at him. Now look at the way he's performing.
Exactly.
Curtis Jones.
Exactly.
There you go.
All of a sudden, that day, just to reach that, all of a sudden now, you look at the Liverpool team, yeah, and all of a sudden now we've got options.
Yeah.
We've got options at the day like we never had last season. Do you know what I mean? And probably the season before. We've got options now, and I think that. Do you know what I mean? And finally, at the end of the day, right, Jurgen Klopp at the end of the day has got a healthy headache now.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
yeah, I love it.
100%. Well, I was talking about this before you came on about Luis Diaz and his father coming on TV saying like his dream is to play for Barcelona. What do you think of that, Uncle Rod's? Like, I think you've done a stream about it, didn't you? Recently. Is that disrespectful, or is it okay to say that? He did say, you know, at the end of it, Liverpool not to worry and all that stuff. But is his son in a position to demand to go to the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid or something like that, the way he's performing for Liverpool at the moment?
Let's face it, then, right? As I said about my stream earlier on, every South American sort of footballer that you probably find in the day, right?
Yeah.
Their dream is to probably play for Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a club. Those are two clubs at the day, right, that they grow up loving. Do you know what I mean? Because you got to think about it, if you're Brazilian at the end of the day, right, and you go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, you're more likely at the end of the day to find one of your country friends at the end of the day in there. Do you know what I mean? Or somebody from your country playing in the sort of like in that club at the end of the day, which you can actually converse with and get to sort of like gel in a team sort of like more better. Right. South America at the end of the day is predominantly a Spanish speaking country apart from Brazil, where they speak Portuguese. Do you know what I'm saying? So naturally, at the end of the day, sort of like people from sort of like Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, and so forth, in the day, right, could come to sort of like our Barcelona or like your Real Madrid, and the transition would be much more easier because at the end of the day, it's this at the end of the day, right. Whereas at the dialect at the end of the day in Spain, might be different to the dialect at the end of the day in Colombia, Mexico, Paraguay, and so on. Yeah. It's like a situation at the day. It's like, say, right, I'm English at the day, yeah, right, and I speak the Queen's English. Well, I try to anyway, right. But like, you got an Irishman, a Scotsman, and a Welshman, yeah, right. Maybe some of the words at the day that they probably say and think that I probably won't understand it, but I know what they're saying. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They might have a different way of putting certain words. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's like with someone from Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and so on, come to Spain and everything. That it's just that they say what in Spain at the end of the day, they say words a bit different. Because I always remember a time when I was working in, I was doing like security, and I was in school. I used to go to a student's pub in Snowball at the day, and there was a guy at the day that was a barman, and he was from like Murcia, in Spain. But he used to have a lot of his friends at the day used to come to the pub. Some of them Colombian and so forth. So anyway, cut long story short, what this guy, Colombian guy, said, I used to call him Pablito. You know, he was funny, right? What he said at the day was like, he said he wanted to say a word in Spanish, and he asked the guy, "How do I say this word in Spanish?" So I turned around to him like, weird looking for. Why are you asking it today how to say the word in Spanish? You speak Spanish? He goes, "Yeah, I know, but it's different. You know what I mean? They've got a different way of saying it in their country. It's a right way, and it's a different way of saying it. So you find out the transition at the day is much more easier. So most of these people at the day, they grow up and they go up and then they supporting Barcelona. They grow up supporting Real Madrid. Do you understand what I'm saying? and grow up liking this club. But in the same kind of way, in effect, it doesn't mean at the day that they're gonna play for that club. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's more of like they admire those clubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a club they support when they were growing up. You know, I mean, that's what it is. You know, what I mean, because like you said, it's Spanish-speaking countries. What do they gravitate to? Spanish teams. So that's what they go to. And I understand where his father's coming from, but have some respect for Liverpool Football Club at the same time. You know what I mean? When you're coming out in the news, I know like life hit you because of what's happened to you, like kidnapping and all that stuff. And then maybe you promised yourself you have to say what you have to say. You never know when it's the last day. Maybe that's what entered his head. Maybe because he never used to say things like this. Maybe that's what's entered his head. You know what I mean? That can be a life-threatening thing when someone kidnaps you, probably tries to kill you or something along those lines. And maybe he just started saying, "Oh, maybe I might as well just tell the truth if I'm free." And God saves me from these people, and then maybe that's what's happened. Maybe that's what's happened with him.
It's like this though, Quaz, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, you grew up being sort of like a Liverpool supporter,
yeah,
and you're a Liverpool fan, and this and that, right? You was a football at semi-pro level and so forth, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now imagine that the day you get signed by, I don't know, Arsenal, yeah. Arsenal come in and they sign you and everything that, and you have a career at the day with Arsenal, and then like your mum's now, yeah, right, knows that the day, so like your love for Liverpool, you know what I mean? Knows your love for Liverpool. I know you're a Liverpool fan. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I asked her about it. I asked her about it, and she goes, "Yeah, man, he would love to play for Liverpool." Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And so on, so on, so on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Do you know what I mean? It's that fact at the day, sort of like you've grown up at the day as a fan of this club.
Yeah.
But your chance that you got, and then the chance that you got, and the day, right, was with this club here. Because remember at the day, I mean, if we take it in that term and everything, not only is it sort of like kind of disrespectful to Liverpool, it's kind of disrespectful. It's kind of disrespectful to Porto. Because remember at the day, we bought him from Porto to Liverpool. We didn't buy him from Barcelona. So I feel at the day, sometimes at the day, I think when people can say things at the end of the day, right, and they don't realize the effect of what they're saying. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like I said about his life, it was under threat. You know, what I mean, he thought he would never see the light, day of light again, and maybe that's what's happened to him. Maybe you never know. Like he's so much in a shock. Maybe he's saying the wrong things at the moment as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, I said about Luis Diaz. Stop concentrating. If he's concentrating towards Barcelona, he needs to stop that and concentrate towards Liverpool because he needs to start performing for Liverpool Football Club. What I was saying as well before you came on, Uncle Rods, with Mane, even when Mane was playing badly, Uncle Rods, he still produced something on the pitch, either defensively, offensively, or creativity. Yeah. With Diaz, I don't see anything like that happening. Obviously, in the last few games, he's come to his own again. Is he going to be consistently doing it, or are you happy what you see, or does he have to improve, like from your point of view? Because like I said, with Mane, look at this guy, what he produced. He's the second best winger we've had since John Barnes on that left-hand side. Yeah, John Barnes, people you don't know, is a quality player in his time. I mean, so we vote this guy highly. He's a legend at Liverpool Football Club. Like I said, in his bad games, he still produced something on the pitch. With Diaz, when he's having bad games, what does he actually produce? I don't see any creativity, any defensive stuff. He doesn't do anything that shows me he stands out a bit. You know what I mean? That's he's helping out the team.
Yeah. First off, be careful because a certain somebody will come after you for that. No, but listen, we've had conversations about this, haven't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And I'm at the agreement with you. I just don't think at the day that Diaz does enough. Not to say he's a bad player, I just don't think he does enough. Yeah. When you look at something like Mane in the day, sort of like, I mean, when they was going to buy Mane, I thought, what the heck are you going to buy him for? And then I saw it. I kind of saw him when he came into the team. I thought, wow.
And he wasn't even playing on the left. He was playing on the right.
He was playing on the right, wasn't he? He's playing on the right. And I thought, wow, this is a player. I see why he bought him. And he got him for a steal as well. It was like 26 million he bought him from.
I think it was about 30 million, 35, something like that.
No, it was
because
26.
no, it was about 30 something. It was
You
because
sure?
come on, Southampton don't sell it to us that cheap. You know that.
No, man, it
Look at
was.
the
I'm
price.
sure it's 26 because of what it was. I think at that time.
Mhm.
I don't
I'll
know, I'm
check.
sure it's 26.
I swear it was
I'll
a
look
30
it
something. It
up.
was 30 something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll carry
but
on, Cross.
we're going for
I'll
still.
find it.
Yeah, we're
Huh?
going for still. We're going for
Yeah.
still. Yeah, try and see if you can find it anyway.
Mhm.
Anyway, so but like I didn't rate the player.
Not many did.
That's what I said. I said I didn't rate the player because I thought so. Why are you buying him?
34 million.
34.
34 million, which rises to 36 million. So we
Right.
did.
Cool.
I told you, Southampton don't sell us cheap, even in those days.
But even 34 million for Mane in the day.
That's a snip.
Still
It's
a
a snip.
steal. That's still a steal to what he done. You know what I mean? That's a steal.
First season he came, he was the best player on the pitch for us, and he made us. He actually helped us qualify for the Champions League. First season, we was like 8th before he came 8th, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's how good that guy was. And people
When
don't.
against Everton.
Yeah.
When,
Tottenham, that volley against Tottenham.
Oh,
Come
Jesus
on.
Christ,
Come on, bro. Come
Stop
on.
it. Stop it. No,
Come
no,
on. He ruined
no,
a lot
stop
of teams.
it.
A lot of teams. He ruined a lot
Listen,
of
they're
teams.
going to score against Watford, the back heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, this guy at the end of the day, Mane,
Special.
was amazing. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Luis Diaz was brought in as a Mane replacement.
100%.
He was brought in.
He meant to come in the summer, but Tottenham went for him, so we got him in January.
Yes, exactly. You see? Now, he was supposed to be this person. Now, I want to see him taking on more players. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see him not lose the ball so much. He does lose the ball a lot. And I want to see him scoring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've only how many goals has he scored this season? What, 2?
4, maybe 3, something like that.
Yeah, but all right, between 2 and 4.
Well, he did score in the beginning of the season a few goals. I know that, like maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
So he must be.
I think he scored 2, then he scored a Luton one, so I count it as 3, something like that. Yeah.
You look at Mane. You look at Mane's record in the day.
Oh.
At the beginning of the season and think he's way ahead of him.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season, and Mane at the day played in 3 different positions. He played on the right, he played on the left, and he played through the center, and he was still balling out. He had a season in the day where he didn't do so well and thing that, but most of the other players didn't do too well and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but people want to sort of like get in his back. You know what I mean? I want to see more from Luis Diaz. Seriously, I don't care what anybody says.
I think we've been robbed. I honestly think we've been robbed, man. And his dad coming out like this, it really angered me. I think, really? What has your son actually done since he's been at Liverpool? Take it easy, bro. Like, I mean, let him settle in at Liverpool at age of 27, first of all. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Listen, we're not asking for... Listen, Mane left a big gap. There's no players like Mane. We know that. This guy was scoring like 14 goals before he came to Liverpool in Porto in January. He scored 14 goals already. He contributed into the title win. He won a title, people, that season, if you don't know. He won the League Cup, the FA Cup, and a league title, if people don't know that, for Porto. So he was part of that team that actually won the league, and he got a medal for that as well. So he scored 14 goals before he came to Liverpool, and that's what we want him to reach heights like that at Liverpool. Yes, it's a different league, but show something. Show something.
We pay 60 million for him, you know?
Fuck's sakes, man. It's a lot of money. Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Pay 6 million. The things about that, right, is that when you're buying sort of like players like Luis Diaz for 60 million and stuff, right, you expect an end product. And we're just not seeing it. We're just seeing all the same every week in the day, right? Where he just gets the ball, runs down the wing and everything that, and then other saying that, well, you know what, I'm not gonna go any further, you know. Let me check back. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? And like when he had Mane, right? Mane was that player, and then they took on players, and more times than none, he was getting past these players. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, so I want to see more from sort of like Luis Diaz, and at this present stage and everything, that ask yourself, right? I'm not saying I want it to happen, right? But at this present stage, if they said like if Luis Diaz actually went to Barcelona or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Would he be missed?
No, that's what I said. Like, he's done nothing at Liverpool for us to even defend him. There is those defense league, you get those defense league for him and all that stuff, but he's got to show more people. Like, he ain't gonna be missed. I honestly think that's why I said if we could get 60, 80 million for him, I'll take it, because I need a younger player probably that can offer me more. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Jota, you see with Jota as well, Uncle Ross. You see with Jota, even though he doesn't play well, but he contributes with goals.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. That's the difference, people. You know what I mean, I want to see something different. When you're playing badly, offer me something different.
Yeah.
That's what all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anything else.
Go in the middle. You know what I mean? Swap sides with Salah. Do something.
Salah, do something different.
You know, at the end of the day, right? When it comes to Jota at the end of the day, right? The difference between Jota and Day, sort of like, and Luis Diaz, is that you can like more or less put money on Jota and Day, right, in getting you a goal in the game.
Spot on.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You can more or less put money on there, because Jota, that sort of person, once he gets his chance in it, right, he's putting it in the back of the net, either with his head or with his legs and that, right. He's a player, so you know at the day, say, look, in the day, I'll put money on Jota getting me a goal. Do you know what I mean? You know, 100%. But you can't say the same for Luis Diaz.
You know what the difference with Jota is, Uncle Ross? Like, say Salah, Nunes, or someone, they go like they did African nations or something like that before. Didn't Jota step up in that season, the season when Salah and Mane left for African nations? He stepped up, scored goals, went away to Arsenal, we battered Arsenal away, even that they were a good team at the time as well. So it shows that's what we need from Diaz. That's what people don't understand when we're having a go at Diaz. It's not like he's completely inept. We can see he's got potential. Just bring the potential out. Show us something different on the pitch. That's all. But we move on to this one, Uncle Ross. I've heard Fulham are going to get him. What do you think? Is your boy going to Fulham, or is he still like a Liverpool bound? Because there's a lot of rumours saying Fulham have got him.
I find the whole situation strange. Right, that you had, if you listen to, if you read up certain things, right, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City, was, looking at this guy. Obviously, Liverpool had the more stronger link. You understand me? But Liverpool, Arsenal, and sort of like Man United, and they were looking at this guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How the hell did Fulham get into the conversation? How did they get in? How did a club that's sitting in 15th place in the league? Yeah. Now, seriously, you got to be real about it. We got to be real, ain't we? You know what I mean, right? They're sitting in 15th place at the end of the day, right? Yeah, in the league. So you're telling what you trying to tell me, that sort of like, Fulham at the end of the day is a better destination at the end of the day than Liverpool, Arsenal, or Man United?
That's crazy.
That is a better destination for him. That's really going to improve.
I just hope this is the what do you call it? A joke, that kind of, the thing they put out there, so they could distract other teams from getting him and all that stuff. I don't know where Fulham's come from. Out of all teams, Fulham, say Aston Villa or someone else, you know what I mean? That's in the other half of the league. But Fulham and Liverpool's going to opt out for a 22-year-old that they've been chasing all summer?
Nah. No, man. You know what it'd be like, yeah? It'd be like a team in a Premiership, yeah?
Yeah.
Team in a Premiership winning a Champions League, yeah? Winning the Champions League and being sort of like in a good position in the actual league, yeah?
Yeah.
Doing that, right? So they're like fifth. No, but so they're third, yeah?
Yeah.
And they've qualified for the Champions League next season. And they've won the Champions League. It'd be like something like that, yeah? Then going to sort of like Luton Town.
That's crazy.
It'd be something like that. It's such a massive job, because he's like...
You rate him, don't you, Uncle Ross? You really rate him, don't you?
I do rate him. I do. I've seen him play. I've seen him play 90 minutes plus. I've seen him play 90 minutes plus a few times. And there's another guy in the Fluminense squad that I think we should be looking at. A guy called John Kennedy, a Brazilian in the day, right? Ooh, he's good. He is good. He scored the winner in the day in the Copa de Libertadores final. Yeah.
Wow.
So then you got a team at the day that wasn't supposed to win the Copa de Libertadores. This is the first time they've won it.
Yeah.
Come up against Boca Juniors and they've won it. Yeah, they've won that. They're not. They haven't done so bad in the league. Yeah. The first chance you get to go to Europe, right? You're going to a two-bit team. I mean, come on now. Let's have it real now. Fulham at the day ain't the team, man. Come on now, right? This is their second season.
They know that team. They know that team, man. I'm sorry.
This is the second season at the day in the Premier League, yeah? The second season in the Premier League, right? And they're sitting in 15th, yeah? They might get relegated. You never know.
Exactly.
And you're telling me you are going to leave Flamese, right? Yeah? You just won the South American version of the Champions League, and you go there? Come on now, man. You're coming to Liverpool, man. You're coming to Liverpool.
I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke. I don't think it's real. It can't be real.
This Liverpool supporter, right? He's got this kind of a thing that does his day. But he's trying to say what he's trying to say is Fulham and they are looking to get that deal wrapped up in 2 days. Yeah.
Wow.
In the next couple of days, get the deal wrapped up. I mean, if he goes to Fulham, yeah, I'll say good luck to you. Good luck to you, mate. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna win nothing. Imagine that day you're going to a team at the day, right? That you know at the day you're not gonna win anything. You're not gonna win anything. At least at the day.
But maybe his advisors are telling him like use them as a stepping stone. You know what I mean? It's good money going down there, and use them as a stepping stone for bigger things afterwards. I mean, like you know, like when you go to a big team, Uncle Rods, the spotlight is on you, and you don't perform to the standards that we expect you from. You get what I'm saying? But if you go to the smaller clubs, they don't expect much from you, so you could play like to elevate yourself as a player. Do you get what I'm saying, Uncle Rod? I don't know if that
I know. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But I want him at Liverpool anyway. But I don't think he's gonna go to Fulham. I don't.
Yeah, but the only thing I will say about that, you know what I mean? I've seen that happen. The only thing I will say about that is that in the day, sort of like, it might you go to Fulham in the day, guaranteeing that you're ruining your career because you're gonna be in a team at the day that's sort of like not doing too well. Then other clubs they're gonna look at you and say, well, you're not really worth it. If I'm gonna buy you anything that right, I'm paying less than what they paid for you.
Exactly.
You ain't really done it because. You remember at the day, he's got to come to a club at the day that is second rate, if that, right, and learn how to play in sort of like in Europe, learn how to play football in Europe and in the Premier League at the day where it's more faster, bang, bang, bang. You're best off at the day going to a Liverpool, Arsenal, or even sort of like Man United. Least at the end of the day, right, you're gonna get to. You're probably going to get at the end of the day to sort of like, be able to be in a mix to win something. You know, if you're Man United, at least you might win a League Cup or you might win something. You're not winning anything with them, Fulham. Sorry, you're not winning nothing. You're not even winning. You're hardly going to win games at the day with Fulham. Come on now, man. This is
awful, man. They were all right last season. They did all right last season. After that, they just dropped off when Mitrovic and all them left. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. They're not going nothing better. With Mitrovic,
they're never going to be small stadium. You know what I mean? What are you doing there, man? There's no spotlight there.
Mitrovic at the day was one of their best players at the day, right? You know what I mean? And then like all that shit that happened, and they with him and Man United in the thing that game with Man United. He said, right, you know what? I want to go to sort of like Saudi. I want to go to Saudi.
Get some money, innit? Get some money.
When they try to block it, they tried to block it.
I know.
And then he got to go in there. But Fulham, this is top playing, Andre, and get yourself to Liverpool.
Of course. Let's read the comments. Premier League is finished. Yes, that's what we're going to next. I had to save that comment for you. Manchester City next, can't wait. Please bring back the Premier League football. Big up to everyone that's tuned in, man. And thank you very much for the comments as well. I love the comments. I always love the comments. We're going to move to this next, to the Premier League, Uncle Rods. As you know, there's 3 teams which are in trouble. One's already suffered. That's our local rivals. The original team from Liverpool, Everton. They've been deducted, obviously, 10 points. It could go further as well. So as you can see, I put the 5 teams there that's voted for the Premier League when it was introduced in 1990. It wasn't introduced in 1992. It was introduced in 1990. So if you don't know, bit of a history lesson there. If you can see, like Arsenal, Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, Man United, and Spurs. Those are the teams that voted the Premier League in. And Liverpool haven't seen the Premier League until a few seasons ago. You know what I mean? So Tottenham still haven't seen it. Everton still haven't seen it. I mean, those teams are voted, but they haven't. Most of them haven't seen the Premier League. Oh my goodness me! So the reason I'll bring that up there, just to give people education, the Premier League when it was introduced in 1990 to be brought in 1992. It was
so far. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
No worries. We're gonna have to save that because I need Uncle Rod's for this one, yeah, guys. So let's just save that for now. Yeah. So, as we was discussing, Luis Diaz, he needs to be careful what he's doing because if he leaves Liverpool Football Club, the things that we can see on this side that can happen to him. That's what worries me. You know what I mean? In regards to players leaving Liverpool for Barcelona, Real Madrid, if they don't work out, they'll end up like Coutinho in the wilderness as well. I know I said that in the beginning, but I just want to prolong the actual stream so me and Uncle Ross could discuss the Premier League and all that stuff. So yeah, just be careful what you wish for, innit? Be careful what you wish for. The grass is not always green on the other side. And, you know, all those people that was disappointed to Coutinho leaving, maybe that's the catalyst for, you know, future signings. To, you know, like if they South American, they come to Liverpool, that the grass is not always the green on the other side. Even greater players like Coutinho have failed over there, so that can be used as an example for players to stay at Liverpool as well, if you know what I mean. So yeah, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. As I was discussing obviously earlier with Uncle Rods, with the Premier League, let me go down. These are the teams that actually voted for the Premier League. If people don't know in history, that was the teams that voted for the Premier League, and it was introduced as a brand new, you know, league, brand new trophy, brand new organization, and you know it's going to be fair for everyone. Did it go that way? We have to wait and see as we discuss it with Uncle Ross, because I need him and his opinions for that, because he's been there obviously since the beginning of the Premier League. Everton obviously are in trouble. Let me just bring down the table. I need to bring the table for you to see. They lost on 10 points, they were on 14. Now they're on 4 points. Is it fair? Is it unfair? We could discuss it as we go along. Let me just bring it up for you in the league. Premier League. Yeah. Oh, listen, I've been away for a while, and thank you for people that's tuned in, man. You know what I mean? I don't promote that much. That's the way of going about it. You know what I mean? Just whoever's interested in the channel, just show support. That's all I'm asking for. I don't ask for any more or any less. Even if it's one person, I'll still be here. That's the type of person I am. So if you can see the league, obviously, it's a bad thing for Everton. It's a bad thing for Everton. You know what I mean? They broke the financial fair play rule, and they're suffering more than anyone. It's not fair in a kind of way, because there's teams that did that in the past. I believe Man United must have done something in the past as well. So I'm going to have to look for that when Uncle Ross comes and discusses it with me, so I could prolong the actual stream. I'm going to be here for a while, people. Like, just tune in, man. Lock yourself in. I've got a holiday now for a bit. I'll be back and working next Tuesday, so I'm going to be on streams on a regular basis. So yeah, lock yourself in. Yeah, so as we can see in the Premier League, let's go down the table. Everton had 14 points before that, so I'm assuming they were 14th place. So now they're in the bottom three after, you know, getting 10 points deducted. Then the same points as the bottom team, which is Burnley. Is that fair? I don't know. I really don't know. We have to see what comes out of this in the near future as well, because, you know, there's a lot of discussions that's going to happen. And I hope, like, other teams that's broken the rules in the past and currently as well, who are in court, you know, they come into that as well, because it's not fair. Everton suffering more than most. And from what I've heard of Everton as well, people, like, the issue... is if they found guilty, they're still in courts. If they found guilty further, they're going to get more points deducted. And not only that, the likes of I think Leicester City and the teams that got relegated last season, they're going to sue them, which would lead like each team probably receiving around 100 million. I don't know where they're going to get that from if they win their cases, but that's the way it's going at the moment, which will hamper Everton's stadium, and probably them being in the Premier League to compete to pay back that stadium, if you know what I mean. So there's a lot of stuff happening at Everton at the moment. It's sad. It's really, really sad from their point of view. But football, that's the way it goes sometimes. But here's Uncle Rod's. I had to keep it going, man, because,
keep it rocking, man.
Yeah. So I was discussing, obviously, as we was discussing in the Premier League, I didn't want to go further with it because people need to know the history before, we go on to the actual Premier League as well. I've heard, I was watching a stream earlier. I've heard Man United did the same thing that Everton did before, broke the financial fair play, whatever they call it, rules, and they paid a fine. They didn't get points deducted. They paid the fine, basically. But we'll discuss that as further. So as you know, Uncle Rod, obviously those are the 5 teams that voted for the Premier League. What they said to us at the time was it's going to be a fair playing field. Since you've been watching the Premier League, what is it, 31 years now? Yes, 31 years. 1992, yeah. 31 years now. Has it been a fair playing field since you've been watching it? Or is the first division, was it more attractive than this league in regards to, different teams winning it on a regular basis?
No, it hasn't been fair. To be honest, it doesn't surprise me in the day that sort of like the Man United situation. Obviously, we'll go into that, but it hasn't been fair because you see what it is. When you got like one person that's got a club in this new league in the day, right? That has influence on games. Yes, let's get it straight. Has influence on games. It can never be fair. If you got a man like Sir Alex Ferguson, right? I'm gonna call him Alex Ferguson because you only got that name, Sir Alex Ferguson, was the treble. Yeah. Right. And if we look into sort of like the whole situation of like what they won in the Fergie era, it has to be called into question.
Yeah.
And this is why it has to be called into question. Because you cannot have a person in the day that's got a team, a manager of a team in this league in the day, right? And you're sitting on the board of that league.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the board of that league and everything that's being played in the day with all these teams in there, and your colleagues around you are trying to tell like people and how fair it is. You cannot look at people with a straight face and say it's fair.
No, you can't.
If you got this guy sitting on the board and the day, right, of the Premier League, he was sitting on the board of that, and he was a manager of a team in that league.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me in the day, right, that Man United, like Ferguson, you cannot tell me in the day that he never had no influence on any game in his era. You know what I mean?
Of course he has.
Yeah?
Of course he has.
He has influence. So then at the day, if we concede to the fact at the day that he had influence on games at the day in his era, we're talking about not talking about like
anything to do that changes the game's trajectory. Like the games, like the way the game is played. Even if you're putting extra time on top of extra time, you are influencing the game. That's how it is.
He's even good. All right, check this out. Alex Ferguson in the day, right, came in to Man United in 1986.
Yeah.
If you notice it in the day, right, he weren't doing shit. Right, when it come from 86, he wasn't doing that.
No, 86, but in the first 5 years, he done F all until.
He done. Yes, I say first 5 years he done nothing. He was one kick away from losing his job.
Mark Robbins.
But notice notice at the day when the Premiership era come in, when that era come in, you notice at the day he started to do well. He started to win games, started to win leagues, started to do doubles and
Spot
deals
on.
and
Spot
that.
on.
So you have to question at the end of the day Alex Ferguson's tenure at the end of the day, right, as a Man United manager. How many of these games, how many of these tournaments, like even European tournaments at the end of the day, right? But check this down. What they don't, what people don't get at the end of the day when it comes to Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool was not only successful domestically, yeah, they were successful on the European stage.
Spot
4
on.
European Cups. Some of them, some cups, and they were back to back. Yeah, right. Have you
And
noticed?
don't forget, this is an era when the mafia was in charge of everything. This is an
Right.
era where football cheating was normal, and Liverpool overcame things like that. You know what I mean? When they didn't want English teams to win in the European Cups.
Exactly. Because we can remember at the day 1966 at the day the Inter Milan. Liverpool.
Bill Shankly. Oh,
right. Yes.
dodgy game, dodgy as you know. F, as
remember
I
that?
say. Yeah.
So look at this now. Look at this and think that, right? We were successful at the day in all fields at the day, right? Man United at the day, when you think about it, their biggest success came at the day, right? Domestically, by winning titles. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Where at the day, sort of like Alex Ferguson could have influence on games. Remember the day he even had buddies. He had friends at the day in the sort of like in the Premier League.
Because
Sam Allardyce.
UEFA and FIFA didn't like the English way of football. That's why UEFA and FIFA they do different kind of things in regards to VAR systems and all that stuff. They don't copy the English. They do it their own way, because they want to despise the English way of thinking. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's why he couldn't get any links in there.
The thing is about it, he was sitting on the board, sort of like sitting on the board of the Premiership, so he can call the shots.
Yes,
he can call the shots. He wasn't sitting on the board with UEFA and all that. He wasn't sitting on there. He want nothing to do with him. Yeah, he wasn't sitting on there, right? And they so he couldn't influence certain games. That's why then they, as great as they say they were, they only managed at the day to sort of like win 2. And they
in a span of 10 years.
That's what I say.
And not only that, if you look at both finals, they didn't really deserve to win it. I mean, it was one. Bayern Munich hit the crossbar about how many times on the post, how many times in that final, and then you look at the other one. Was it John Terry slipped? Or John Terry slipped in it in that one?
Yeah, he slipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he tried to be the hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is about it, right? Even the last one with Chelsea, I think that, right? Chelsea and they wasn't sort of like they weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for them the finals there. Bayern Munich and everything that, right? I'm not being funny today, yeah, right? Bayern Munich and they are bad in their country, but when they come out their country, not really. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're not really to that, because the thing is about the fact had Liverpool at the end of the day been playing Bayern Munich, Liverpool would have put them away, mate. Yeah. Liverpool would have put them away. So really and truly, and their biggest influence that they sort of like had and they was in the league and if that. Now, a lot of people got a notice at the day, right? Yeah. Since Alex Ferguson's left at the day, right? Have they won a league yet? Have they won a league?
Has anyone thought of that? People that not only that, not that have they only didn't win a league. Look how bad they are in the league. Look how bad. And don't forget, Ferguson left a championship winning team with David Moyes.
Yeah,
they still couldn't do anything.
A championship winning team. Apparently, because remember the day, people like Wes Brown and all them mans that won on their last legs. And
I'm telling you,
is this day. You know what I mean?
Exactly, Uncle Ross.
Ferguson must have known and said, look, listen, he must have got a notification from other people and said, look, you hear what happened? Hear what? You best retire because we can't cover you up anymore.
No, because football was changing at the time. The rich were coming in. The rich were coming in.
Yeah.
Marco says, "Hope all is well." Hope as well, brother. Hope as well. Jason, good luck. Obviously, the wife saying subscribe, everyone.
Is that your wife?
Hamza says,
"Wow, wifey, man, big up."
Big up, Fozzy. Big up, Hamza, brother. Big up, John Conway, as always, man. Always, brother. No panel tonight. Nah, Uncle Ross is here. It's just me and him. Victor says, I hope we slap this City bastards on Saturday. I hope so too. I really hope so. It's kind of strange if you think about that game, guys. If you think about it, that game was meant to start, I think, 4:30, and then it got changed to 12:30. Because of why? Because of the Arab nations paying for the subscriptions and all that stuff. They needed to be on that time. I mean, so Liverpool are not. What time does Liverpool not great at, Uncle Ross? Like, what time do we always struggle in the Premier League? 12:30 kickoff. And I think we've got about 14 of them, and the next team we've got 3, I think, or 6, something like that, that's played that time since the Premier League established. There you go, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But spot on with Man United, mate. Like, if people look further and open their eyes to the Premier League and the way Man United won those 13 league titles, people, 13 league titles, just like that, and they should have won more. Actually, they messed up along the way. Could have been more than 13. Just like that. There's got to be something suspicious going on. Let's just be honest there.
Of course it is.
So, Everton have been deducted 10 points. It could be further from what I've heard, Uncle Ross. They were on 14 points. Now they're on 4 points. So what do you think about this? Obviously, the situation is they overspent in the last, the previous 2 seasons. And I think it was over 20 million. They went over 20 million or something like that as they were spending around that time. Do you think it's fair what's happening to them? And do you think it's fair these other teams haven't been, placed in a bad way before them? If you know what I mean? Because these teams were getting investigated before them. You know what I mean? It looks like pick on the little man, but let the big boys, leave them. We'll wait a couple of years until we, decide what we're going to do with them. And nothing might happen. Nothing's going to happen, Uncle Ross. Let's just be honest. Nothing's going to happen. But what do you think of Everton 10 points deduction, mate?
I mean, to me, at the end of the day, it's a kind of like it's a travesty. It's travesty, and it's farcical. You understand what I'm saying? It's farcical. But I always say this at the end of the day is this. One thing I'd say is the more money you got, the more power you got. You understand what I'm saying? And have you seen this drama? Very good, and it's called Gangs of London. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of episodes. I haven't watched it.
Right. So when you get into it, you find out. You kind of find out. And I don't want to give too much away, but you kind of find out, and then that how much money has an influence in life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I always say this: the more money you have, the more power you have. The more power you have, the more you can dictate what the outcome of certain things.
Spot on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just that Everton in the day haven't got as much money as your Man City, and as your Chelsea. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what happens at the end of the day is, that they bear the brunt. You know what I mean? They bear the brunt, and they have to at the end of the day sort of like be made an example of, because they're not going to go after sort of like Man City, because they've got too much money and power. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man City influence the government. They influence the city, as Abramovich did in the past. You know what I mean? That's how it is, man. That's how it is.
It's money. Once you got money and everything like that, right, and a lot of it, and then you can literally dictate outcomes of certain things. You know what I mean? And it's like to me at the day, it's upsetting and sad at the day that the game at the day has got to that way. Do you know what I mean? Because then you start to thinking and then, well, look, if that can happen to Everton and nothing's going to happen to Man City, well, how is this a fair league that my club is playing in? Do you know
Let me say something to Uncle Rods. Like the Premier League was offered how you call it, a regulator, someone that's going to look at the finance and look after it going forward. and they refused it. Doesn't that show you something is not right in the
There you
Premier League?
go. There you go.
I mean, if the FA and the British government is telling you need someone that's gonna make the league fair and people it'll be fair for the whole, obviously the league and all that stuff, and then you're refusing at the same time.
Yeah, 1 second, bro.
Yeah. The Premier League was offered the relegator, and they refused it outright. They said we don't need it. We could do it ourselves. Like you look at the Premier League at the moment. The referee committee is all over the place. You look at the league in general, like what we're seeing now with Everton, Man City, and Chelsea is all over the place. So it shows it needs sorting out as an overall, because if it continues, we're going to end up like Serie A. That's what happened to Serie A. Serie A was so powerful, they thought they could do anything they want. They let the mafia and everybody get involved. It got destroyed. Now, like you look at it, it's like a veterans league, and Juventus yo-yo up and down that league. It's just a mess. It's just a mess all around. But Everton getting 10 points deducted while other teams are just sitting there with their feet up, and they know they might not even get punishment for it. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. Listen, I don't give a damn about Everton. I mean, in normal circumstances, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? But it's unfair when there's other teams that do even worse, get away with it. That's what's unfair, in my opinion, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Where's the fairness in the league? They said to us in this league it's going to be fair playing field. It hasn't been fair playing field. As Uncle Rod's, alluded to earlier. Teams can put their hooks around the Premier League and do whatever they want. That's how it is.
It's true. You know what it is, and it's like I always say this, right? Before the Premiership era, it was Liverpool that was running things. Do you know what I mean? We was running things in front. You never knew about Man United. You know what I mean? The only other team that you probably knew about was Arsenal. Arsenal had good that was doing well. And remember they came in 1989 and won the league at Anfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was time and stuff. Yeah. See what it is, and they sort of like they wanted a new Premiership, new league babies. You know what I mean? They didn't like
more money.
Yeah, they didn't like it in Liverpool because of we apparently got everybody banned from Europe and stuff like that. So it was always sort of thinking how can we get the Scousers out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there was Hillsborough, when then there's Hillsborough and everything that, and the vile, I'm talking about vile things they were saying about Liverpool fans. It was vile. Do you know what I mean? So they wanted to push at the end of the day, sort of like Liverpool out of the way. Yeah. So then at the end of the day, sort of like not a lot of people know this, but Sky Sports wanted to buy Man United.
Spot on.
They want to buy Man United, but they wasn't allowed to. That would have been too obvious at the end of the day that the bias. That would have been too obvious. So they couldn't let that happen. And if
because Sky and Premier League came as one at that time, didn't they, Uncle Ross?
Yeah,
they were all as one. Sky to broadcast, the Premier League to be the league. So they're all together.
Right. So then what happened in the day? So look what they did in there. Remember that day they put Sky Sports News.
Yes.
Was the next channel down, wasn't it? It's like I think it
was Sky Sports Centre, wasn't it? Sky Sports Centre. That's what 6 o'clock they used to put on, and then it became Sky Sports News after. I remember because I used to see Kirsty Gallagher and Kenny Dalglish's daughter on there a lot.
Right. But when thinking and they when Man United decided to get their channel.
Yeah.
Have a Man United
first
channel.
Team. Even that Liverpool had more history than them. Even Liverpool had more history than them. Yeah.
That's the first team. You see.
Yes.
You see how the things put together. All right. Even Kenny Dalglish's daughter and the thing that, right?
Kelly,
yeah. When they have the Premiership years on Sky, when we used to do the Premiership years, I never used to watch it. The thing that, right? It's little bits.
It's a bad league for Liverpool, man.
You know what I mean? But what it is at the day, right? They got Kenny Dalglish, yeah. Because that's what, obviously this is before she got married. Kelly Dalglish and everything that, and they said that, then they sort of like, that she's a Blackburn fan. She ain't no Blackburn
You're a
fan.
Blackburn fan. What the
She ain't
hell?
a Liverpool fan. But do you
Well,
see
she
what
followed.
I'm trying to say? You see how they're trying to shift the narrative on everything they can at the end of the day, right? They shift the narrative because at the end of the day, sort of like, her dad went up to Blackburn at the end of the day and won the league with Blackburn, you know what I mean, the season. But what they don't realise at the day, you also have done a double at the end of the day with Liverpool as a player manager, which is more harder.
Still,
You know what I mean?
the first person to do it and the last person to do it. There you go.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So the narrative had to be shifted. You understand what I'm getting at? And they've done it. They've shifted it to Man United.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden today, Man United is the greatest team. Man United is this, Man United is that. And like I remember one time in the day, Ian Wright, he can be a bit of a numbskull sometimes.
He's a dopey.
He goes like he was doing this thing in the day where he was giving this is years ago, he's giving players at the day certain awards and stuff like that. He gave one to Harry Kewell for something and whatever. When it come to like Man United and things like that, one Man United player, an award, and he goes, "Yeah, Man United, arguably the best British team ever." What are you talking about?
And he comes from an era where Liverpool were the most dominant team. You know what I mean?
So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's like, please, man, have a word with yourself. Do you know what I mean?
And don't forget the incident with him and Schumacher as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand.
Exactly that.
He must have got paid. He must have got paid to say things like that. Yeah, of course, man. Some people just look after their pocket instead of like telling the truth, as we know.
Yeah.
There you go. But as for Everton, Uncle Rods, we know they said they're still under investigation. They could be deducted more points as a football club. What could happen to them, bro? Like, because they're building a new stadium. Obviously, they're in the bottom two now. They got the same points as Burnley, 4 points, and they could go further than they. And I've heard the previous seasons, like Burnley and Leicester, are trying to sue them for 100 million for getting relegated while they were doing this.
Yeah. I've heard that. I think talk about kicking a man when he's down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So
I think you got relegated anyway. You're shit anyway. Sorry.
But would like if them getting relegated and probably obviously paying those clubs as well? How are they going to get out from the stadium stuff? Like, how are they going to pay for that stadium, mate? Like, there's a lot of
hard. I mean,
a lot of problems, mate.
They've got a whole heap of problems, and this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's like the same kind of energy you show for one team, you should be showing for all. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean? You look at what could happen to sort of like Everton in the day. You know what I mean? If they're successful in the day in being sued, if they sort of like if the FA and they do dock and more points because of like something else coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this stage now, they could be in the championship next season.
So bad.
You know what I mean?
So bad,
and be in the championship, and then they're struggling, and in the day to build a new ground in the day, right? And meanwhile, you got people like you got Man City in the day with 115 charges, right?
We'll come on to them. But I want to talk about Chelsea. Didn't Chelsea get done for something similar a few seasons ago? But breaking the financial fair play rules.
No, it was something to do with the transfers, wasn't it? It was something to do with the transfer.
I think they were banned from transfer for a while, wasn't they?
Yes,
before the Abramovich thing that happened, I'm sure something like that. Yeah. So what I want to know is like when teams like Chelsea do it, and we know what Abramovich has been doing recently. We've been hearing like he's been like paying people on offshore accounts, like like in Switzerland or in Monaco and things like that.
He's not nice.
If Chelsea have been doing that, like breaking those kind of rules, and they got new ownership, shouldn't the new ownership that bought Chelsea investigated all the problems that surrounds the club before they're taken over?
Yeah,
and because something could actually come back on them in the future as it's doing now. Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they got new ownership. Those stuff shouldn't matter anymore." The people that was there, they're long gone. But it's still called Chelsea FC. I mean, the name hasn't changed. It's still the same fans. It's still the same club. I don't blame the fans, by the way. It's still the fans' fault. I'm talking about the club
Yeah,
and the people that worked around that club. If they were doing dodgy business back in the day, should these new owners get away with it, Uncle Rods, or should they suffer the same consequences by buying a club that they knew before they bought that was in trouble in the first place anyway? That's why they got rid of all those people that was around Abramovich at the time.
The thing is with that whole situation and day, like to me and day, it was a sham.
Mhm.
It was a sham and day, right? It was like the British government and day, right? Let's see how we can make a billion or two. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they used it. They used
I was going to come
it.
to that, but yeah.
Yeah. So he used it and they sort of like that situation and they with Ukraine and they'd say, right,
Time to get rid of him.
time to get rid of him. Because
Don't need him anymore. Yeah.
the thing is about the thing that right is that Abramovich at the day was doing dodgy things well before that. Yeah. Well before
How
that.
did he become rich? He wasn't born rich.
Yeah.
Think
But
about it that way, people.
exactly. He's doing, and even when he came to England, he was doing dodgy things. But
Yeah.
let's take England now, yeah, to what he done in Russia, right? Let's take England. They knew what he was about and what he was doing in England in sort of like the sports washing with Chelsea. They knew all this and that. But you know what it was? Is that the British government was getting a kickback.
100%.
People were getting a kickback and everything,
100%.
right? Because remember, he had property in a prestige part of London and everything that,
Yeah.
and some big yard and everything that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Come on, Uncle Ross. He's been built. He was building like I think hotel in Chelsea or something like that.
Yeah,
All this
he was
stuff
doing.
for them,
Yeah, and so
as
all
well
that,
as he's still giving them a few millions here and there now and again.
yeah, and all that money, yeah, that he made for these Chelsea, hotels in Chelsea and so
Infrastructure.
forth,
Yeah.
and the property and all that money, and it's going back into the economy. It's
Yep.
building up. It's building up the economy.
They
Now,
didn't even give it back to him, did they, Uncle Ross? They didn't even give it back to him.
well, no,
The money that he was owed. They took it.
They took it, but the things about it, that he's still got billions left. He's still got, check this out, right? When a person at the end of the day can sell a club at the end of the day, yeah, for like 4 billion, I think he said it for 4 billion in the end, yeah. And what is the British government got sort of like some money out of that, yeah, like a billion or something like that, or something sort of like that, right? And then what must have happened in the day is the rest of the money at the day. See, remember he said it. He didn't want no money because the rest of the money goes to Ukraine. Yeah.
Ukraine
So
or the Chelsea Foundation or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Give back.
Let's say at the day, sort of like he's wrote off that now. He's wrote off 4 billion in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not gonna write off 4 billion in a day unless he's got double, triple, quadruple, or whatever.
What does he deal with? What does he deal with? Oil.
Yeah.
I mean, oil. You get money in 2 seconds. Like you're a millionaire in 2 seconds. Yeah.
He's got money and for that to write off 4 billion. 4 billion. He just wrote that off. He's quite happy to write it off and that. And when somebody writes off money and everything that, right? Trust me, and they're not broke. Because they would not write off money and everything that, right? If they're broke or they're gonna be broke and everything that. So he's done that. So they knew exactly what he was doing from way back when. Big up John Conway. He was doing way back when. And they've always known that they what Roman Abramovich and then they sort of like
Paul Ince, the governor.
yeah. They've always known at the end of the day sort of like what he's up to, that, right? And to me at the end of the day, listen, these charges, these latest charges that they got against Chelsea, probably won't stick. But the thing is about the one where they got banned. What it was at the day, they was doing dodgy contracts with the academy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
and what they was doing at the day, they was getting getting these kids and everything like that, right? From all over Europe and all of Europe, spending sort of like between like 1 maybe 2 million or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, not really big money that you could spend, but where they was making their money and then they was on loan fees, Yeah, they was making their money on loan fees, And basically, what it was at one time in the day, right? Chelsea had 40 players out on loan.
Fuck.
40 players out on loan, you know what I mean? And that's where the whole sort of like transfer embargo came in, and there wasn't they got banned for like one transfer window. Because remember they kind of like they appealed against it, and they was allowed to buy people in January.
Buy players again. I remember. I think they tried to. I think that season they tried to get Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he opted for Liverpool instead.
Yeah,
as I remember.
But
Redbird says hello. Is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie song. Lionel Richie, mate. Yes.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened with Chelsea.
I remember, because I was thinking, like, I'm sure they were like one stage they were done for financial stuff, and they were banned from like signing players and all that stuff. And I've even heard about this one, the offshore account paying like I think Hazard or something on the side or something like that. Uncle Rod.
Oh
yeah. So listen,
can I just say another one? I think that right. I know you're gonna go into Man City. I know you're gonna go into it, but just one thing about Man City, I would say. Remember the day, right? They were supposed to be banned from the Champions League, weren't they? Because of the regulations. And what actually happened in that, right, is that they actually got the ban. But then what they did, and they appealed against it. They tried to say it, and the time of
wasn't it the case elapsed, didn't it? Elapsed
the time has passed. But what they did, which they think they're clever, and they think that we as people are stupid. The appeal process that what they had was a closed appeal process. It was very private. People were locked up in a room for 2 days and everything, and all of a sudden they come out with a decision and then right, of like this. And what Jose Mourinho was saying is that remember they got a fine, didn't they? They got a fine.
If you're innocent, why are you paying a fine? That's what he said.
Exactly.
There you go. We'll move over to Man City. Obviously, we'll still talk about. But Chelsea one before we go. What do you think that they should be done for what they did in the past, or can they escape it with the new ownership, Uncle Rods?
I think this is what I honestly think. Yeah. Right. And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I am no Chelsea fan by any shape or means. Yeah.
I know.
This is what I think in the day. If Man City ain't gonna get done, Chelsea shouldn't get done. Simple as that. Because what Chelsea done happened in the past. How's it different in the day to what happened? What Man City has been doing in the past? Because remember in the day, these are 115 charges, and they are raging back at them from 2010.
Yeah.
13 years ago. So if they're not going to get done,
you
know what I mean? Chelsea shouldn't get done.
Do you think like Man City, the way they're performing, and obviously with transfers, the way, what makes me think they are guilty, Uncle Ross, it's the way they've been performing in the last couple of seasons. They're buying players for a lower amount of money. They're getting rid of a lot of players. You know what I mean? They're laundering players here and there just to like make the squad thinner. There's not a lot of money spent here and there as well. Like they bought Haaland for 62 million. I can't believe that in a way. I don't know how they pay for a player like that for 62 million. You know what I mean? So if you look at them, they're trying to like, sort their financial side out as well as doing transfer here and there. So when people ask them about those, like, oh, you bought this player, you bought that player, you bought this player for this much, it doesn't exist anymore. To the point, it doesn't exist anymore. They say, oh, we bought Haaland for 62, we bought this player for 35, we bought Nunes for 45. So we're not spending over 100 million anymore. We're trying to like, sort out our financial side in a good way. But that 115 charges, how long can we wait until they get charged for at least one of them? That's what I don't understand, Uncle Ross. There's so many charges on there. Everton, one charge, done. Man City, 115, we're still waiting. Chelsea, do what they do normally, we're still waiting. But how long can we wait for Man City until they, sort all their problems out? When the time comes, they're supposed to get charged. How long can we wait? How long can we wait for that? Because we know they are guilty of what they've done. We know that for a fact.
I think we'll be waiting a long time. Excuse me. We're going to wait a long time.
Because it says 3 years, isn't it? It's 3 years. Maybe.
Yeah, to me, at the end, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it happened.
I think this Everton thing has opened up a lot of can of worms, but it will help these two. That's what I think.
Of
Because
course, it will.
I don't think the FA, the government, the Premier League want their league to be known as a corruption league. Do you get what I'm saying, Uncle Rods? I don't think they want to be labeled as that. They don't want to lose the label of being the best league in the world to things like this. So Everton is going to I think they're going to appeal, and I think they're going to win. I got a feel. I don't know. I might come back one day and say to you, but I tell you, I got a feeling that might happen the way it's going. Because if Everton is guilty, Everton will investigate other clubs that did similar or worse to them and bring that up in order for their defense. If you know what I mean, Uncle Rods.
No, I hear you. But you see what it is at the end of the day, sort of like, I think it goes back to what I'm saying at the end of the day, is like, say, the more money you got, the more power you got. The more power you got, the more that you can dictate outcomes. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Look at Newcastle. We're seeing Newcastle live every weekend now.
Yeah. What I like about Newcastle is that they haven't gone down the route and they are spending crazy and this and that. Do you know what I mean? They literally just bought what they need to buy to get them to the next level. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is Newcastle going to go down the same route as Chelsea and Man City later on? I don't know. I can only talk about now.
Yeah.
But Man City in the day, what they do and everything that they're buying all these players like Doku, Haaland, Nunes, and what's it? And the other
Garvidal, what his name is, the centre back.
They bought Garvidal. They bought that youth there from Chelsea, the Croatian guy from Chelsea.
Yeah, Kovacic. Yeah,
Kovacic. What they do with some of these players and everything that is that they buy these players at a cheap price, but they put them on high wages. Do you know what I mean? Because Haaland and they was bought for 62 million. And,
can't believe it.
It's cheap, but he's on about 860 something grand. 860 something grand.
But is that legal for them to do that, Uncle Rods? That's the question.
Them. It's legal for them. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, that's what I tried to get across to people in the day, right? Is that when you've got so much money like these Man City owners have, and they influence society in the day, right? You can literally do anything you want. You understand?
Yeah.
You literally can do anything you want still. You know what I mean?
Redbird says, ref for City game. Did you know his brother is a season ticket holder for Man City? City, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I say. So you can do anything. You literally at the end of the day can do anything you want. And that's what Man City is doing. They put him on sort of like so much money, and you know what I mean? Sort of like a week. Because they can say, and they look, we're not buying players for 100 million anymore. You know, but you put them on high wages, though. You're putting them on high wages at the day that sort of like they probably won't. Either they didn't get at the previous club, and then probably wouldn't expect to get. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm getting? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so they do that. They always find a way. I always find a way around it. And then
the loophole, as they say. You don't have like 100 lawyers, and you're not going to find a loophole for that. I mean, they got 100 lawyers every single time they go to court. Over 100 lawyers, you know what I mean? So they say the best the money can buy. That's what they have in it. The best the money can buy. So this is why they get away with so much. There's always a loophole somewhere. The Premier League haven't filled, and that's what's happened. But what I've said, Uncle Rods, in regards to that, what I've said was, I don't care about Man City. I really don't care about Chelsea. I really don't care about Everton either. What makes me angry more than anything is the Premier League. The Premier League is the governing body of the that we trust, that told us in 1992, back in 1992, 91, is a fair playing field. Now, these stuff is happening. That's never happened in the league before, even during the first division, and it's becoming irregular. How can we have a go at clubs when the Premier League, who's supposed to watch all over this stuff, are not doing their job? And only hackers are finding out these loopholes inside these football clubs. That's what I don't understand, Uncle Ross. Why are we having at these football clubs when the Premier League, that's the security for every football club in the Premier League, are letting the clubs down?
Yeah, it's to me at the end of the day, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? How can somebody else? How can somebody at the end of the day independent from from the job that you're supposed to be doing, independent from sort of like your organization, find these loopholes and find where you're effing up? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. How can that? How can that happen?
So
You know?
if that person didn't find it, Uncle Rods, would the Premier League find it
No,
eventually?
they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They
There
wouldn't
you
be.
go. That's the thing I was going to ask you.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
So
They'd
isn't
be
that dangerous? We're playing a dangerous game. Shouldn't the actual Championship and the Premier League go after the Premier League for this then? Because
well,
if
yeah.
that
I mean,
hacker didn't find it, I don't think the Premier League would have found anything.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. They
Because
should
they're
do.
getting this and they're going to be rolling along like nothing's happened.
Yeah, facts. No facts. They should do, because at the end of the day, you should be held responsible.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because the things that they were people and your normal fan and they right are spending so much money at the end of the day, sort of like in sort of like tickets, season
Yes.
tickets, this, that, and everything that. Do you know what I mean? For me to sort of like go to sort of like Liverpool to watch a game, it probably cost me nearly 200 quid. Yeah, that's if I stay overnight and day in the hotel.
Me 3 to 4 because I have to stay in a hotel to come back. You know what I mean?
That's
So
what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say. So really and truly, and the amount of money we as citizens and they pump into sort of like the football. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and individually sort of like supporting our teams at the day, and then we get something like this. Do you know what I mean? Where the Premiership in the day, right? Yeah, one season and they had record takings at the day of 5 billion.
look at that.
Of 5 billion. Do you know what I mean? Where's all that money coming from? Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
So like really and truly at the day, right? You cannot sort of like, all right, you cannot have a fair league. Yeah, you cannot have a fair league unless people and they are held culpable. You know what I mean? Are held culpable for their actions. They have to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In order at the day to sort of like for us to have a league at the day that we can trust,
yeah,
and we can love. And at the moment in the day, there's so many bad decisions at the day that's happening in
it's unreal.
the league.
It's unreal. You're spot on, Uncle Ross.
It's
Even like with
unreal.
the referees. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's unreal. I mean, not being funny at the day, right? You know what I mean? Look at the other day and everything that, right? With Arsenal and Newcastle. And the ball at the day was clearly out.
I can't
He got
believe.
knocked back in, and from that they scored a goal and everything that, right? And they said they tried to tell people, and it wasn't clearly out.
Clear, was it clear and obvious or something like that along those lines? They say,
yeah, but you needed a passport to get that back inside. And you know what it reminded me of, right? Is when Tottenham paid Man United at Old Trafford. And do you remember that player, Pedro Mendes?
The goalkeeper. Yeah.
No, you remember Roy Carroll?
The goalkeeper got inside the goal and then got it back out and threw it out.
Well,
got inside the goal, people. Inside the goal, like 3 or 4 yards, and got the ball out and
scooped it out. He scooped it out. And
come on.
Who loved him? Who loved him? Can you remember who loved him?
That Mendes guy. I remember. That
Mendes Pedro Mendes.
Was he Portuguese or something?
Yes, Portuguese. Yeah, and he was playing for Tottenham that time. Yeah. That right. And imagine this at the day, right? This was like a situation at the day when obviously Man United are in the element in the day, right? Yeah, and it's at Old Trafford. Ferguson's the manager of Man United, yeah, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't have that, could they? They couldn't have at the day Man United in Paris.
Look at the ball, people. Like
I know. Look, yeah, you see that? That's out, man. That's out. Oh, just before we go say anything else, we have to give condolences to Roberto Firmino's dad.
Oh yeah, man.
On a heart attack. So
put some prayers
go out to Roberto Firmino and your family, and in this time, and
the legend, man.
Prayers and love comes from the Liverpool fan community.
100%, brother.
A special guy, and it can't be nice to lose your dad. You know what I mean? So prayers and love and respect.
Once you're part of the Liverpool family, you're going to be part of our family forever. That's what it is. Yeah.
Of course.
And then you look at that, 2 hands on his neck, Uncle Ross.
I know that guy Bruno Gomes, yeah, he was going on wrong that game,
Should have
blood.
got sent off at least one of those challenges and that punch he done.
Oh.
Unbelievable, mate. We don't even like Arsenal. That's the funniest thing with me and Uncle Ross. We don't like Arsenal.
But
you got to be fair. You got to be fair.
Yeah, I don't like Arsenal. Yeah.
Especially like after the Tottenham game, the way what's his name, Arteta was acting. What did he say? Oh, just get on with it. Just get on with it, man. It happens in football. It happens in football.
They're only human, and it's not. Then that's what I'm trying to say. If you watch Cal's copies, he said, "I'm taking names. I'm taking names. Everybody that's saying to us, stop crying, stop this, or stop that. I'm taking names. So when it happens to you, I want to see what you guys want to say."
Wow.
And look.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. And they still let this Premier League referees still do the business, even though they don't even know what they're doing. Uncle Ross, I've always said that with the referees. Now a lot of people are saying what I'm saying. I've noticed. If you haven't played the game, you won't understand the game. I'm sorry. If you haven't played the game, you won't understand the game. Any level, I'll give you even Sunday League level. If you haven't played it, you won't understand it. That's why these guys are struggling. That's why they're struggling badly. They don't. Come on, how can that not be over the line, people? Like how?
They would do, wouldn't they?
Come on, man.
They would do. You see what it is at the day, sort of like, it's a situation and they sort of like, you know what I mean? People start talking about certain things that you've been saying a long time ago, and you have to turn around and say, "Hold on, I told you that."
I said to them, you know what I said to Arsenal fans? Welcome to the last 7 to 8 years what Liverpool's been facing. There you go.
Even longer.
There you go.
Even longer.
Yeah, even longer than that. We
longer.
lost the league by 1 point because of a reason. And these are the kind of decisions that we're making back then. And you guys told us, just get on with it. Man City are a better football club now. Like, they're the best team in the league. That's what you told us. Now you're crying.
What they always saying? Typical Liverpool always.
Typical Liverpool always crying.
Victim. Always playing the victim.
Victim, yeah.
Okay, victim. You're seeing it now happen to you lot now, haven't you?
Exactly.
You see that happen to you lot. Do you know what I mean?
It's a joke, mate. Look at that. How can that not be over the line?
That's right. That's literally right over the line.
Right out. And then not only that, that's their ex-player, Joe Willock. You know what I mean? He didn't even come out and say, "Oh, damn, it was over the line." He could have actually said something. The game's over. He ain't gonna say shit. Otherwise, hell's gonna break loose.
First, that's actually quality, That's actually quality in the day. That's the ex-player that did that.
He ruined them, mate. He absolutely ruined their title hopes. They were saying we're gonna be invincibles this season. We're gonna be doing, what the past Arsenal teams have done. Nah, mate, you're never gonna be invisible this league. As long as Man City and all them are in it.
They'd be more like invisible, not invincible.
Yeah, but yeah,
I got some brethren, and you know what is? I got some brethren at the day, sort of like the Arsenal fans. What's it? Jess Collins, he's my brethren. Yeah. Lee Meadow had on the show today. I got a couple of Arsenal guys that were brethren.
Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're killing it, Uncle Ross, man.
Well,
congratulations, man.
You know what it is, though. What I'm saying is that the days that say, Arteta to me, and they just made himself look stupid. He did literally make himself look stupid because what he did and he come up with a statement one week and then when it didn't affect him. It didn't literally affect him. But as soon as it affected him and then right, he starts going off on one and starts saying, "Oh, this and that and everything." And now he's got himself in trouble. You know that he's got himself in trouble now.
Yeah, of course. He's been charged for it now. Now he's gonna be like Klopp, just be quiet, don't say anything. I mean,
well, he's gonna have to. Do you know what I mean?
No choice.
Now he knows what sort of like what Klopp had to go through. He knows that. He knows 100%. What Klopp had to go through there.
I mean, we lost the league twice by 1 point. People like, why did those things happen? You know what I mean? Look at the games that led up to that 1 point. Bad decisions along the way, and we favored Man City all the way, man. Bad. Uncle Rods, where can people find you, sir? Obviously,
yes, man.
Killing it at the moment. Let's go.
Listen, big up to everybody. And I've just got to say love and respect for everybody that supported me on this journey, on this magical journey. You know what I
You
mean?
deserve it, sir.
Big up to my brother Fuzz, man. Bring
Big
it
up.
up each and every time. Listen, you're always gonna find me on this show. You're always gonna find me on the show.
Thank you, man.
Right. Tomorrow I've got 2 shows coming up tomorrow. I should have 2 shows on Thursday, but you at least get one, and then Friday should be 1 or 2 shows. Then obviously Saturday will be the watch long for Man City versus Liverpool. Now you can find me at Anfield Uncle Rods on YouTube. So get over there, please like and subscribe. Anfield Uncle Rods on Instagram, and also Anfield Uncle Rods on Twitter. And I'm going to be starting up. I've been told that people been telling me to start up a TikTok account, so I'll probably start up a TikTok account. But it won't be anything crazy. It'll just be sort of like mostly advertising, sort of like my shows that I got coming up and so
Yes,
forth.
sir.
Yeah, those are the places you can find me. And listen, in the day, all I gotta say is big respect to Fazman, and works hard, such a genuine guy. And listen, I enjoy coming to the show because I always have a good chat.
Big up, Uncle. Big up, Uncle Rods. Thanks for coming on as always. Never let me down, Uncle Rods. Always here for support, man. And I appreciate that. It's killing it on this channel, people. Just go over there and support. That's what it's all about. There's no rivalry. There's no egos here. We're all together as Liverpool fans. Let's support each other. That's what it's all about. I could be back tomorrow. I'm on holiday, people, until next Monday. So I'm going to be doing a lot of streams. So I might be doing FIFA. EA Sport, whatever they call it now. And I might do some shows along the way. I'll try on Friday to bring back Uncle Ross. We'll try to get a Man City fan. I'm trying to get my mate Hamza. We'll get him on, and some other Man City fan, so we could do double take, on the game, which will be played on Saturday. So I'll be back on the watch along on Saturday as well. So yeah, please tune in. But yeah, I should be here tomorrow, probably next day and the day after that as well. So
you want to do on Saturday? Do you want to do a sort of like a double watch along?
It's up to you, mate. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
We'll discuss it. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Let me just end this. Yes, people. I could be back tomorrow. I don't advertise things anymore. I just bring them on now. That's the new way of me thinking, and I don't want to pressure people anymore. Just come in and support the channel. All right, people. Take care. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
Peace.